Distributions. First we're going to talk about a frequency distribution and a frequency polygon. And we'll talk about their shapes in the next video. Frequency distribution table. This is a distribution of test scores. And this is basically each participant only took the test one time. Okay? So that way we can also see our N, which is the number of participants in the study, which is 13. So when you add all these together, you come up with the number 13. So basically all the X's is their score, which you have 100%, 90%, 80%, 70, 60, 50, 40, and 30. In the F, that's how often each score occurred, which the F is, there's 1 for 100, that's frequency, F for frequency, 2 at 90, 1 at 80, 6 at 70, 2 at 60. Nobody received a 50% in this. 1 received a 40%, and no one received a 30%. So when we put this on a frequency polygon, the F will go on the left side, like going from north to south, top to bottom, and then the X will go across here. Which basically, if this were to be drawn out more, you'd have an X and a Y axis. So the F goes on there and the X goes on what would be the X. The F goes on one. So when we draw it up, we have to start at 0 on the left. And then you work up. Here, I notice my, I had 0 here, that's the smallest, so of course 0. And then I had 1, and the highest side was 6. So I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because they're equal intervals when you draw it up. And then going across, again, it has to be equal. These are the percentiles. You start when you draw it at the smallest, the lowest number. So for this, it's percentages. So it's 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100%. And then what you do, see my little brown dots? Brown, same as frequency, so you can see it on here. And that's how often did it occur, how frequent was it. So at 30%, nobody received a 30%. Notice that's at 0. One individual received a 40%, so I put my little dot on the 1, so you can work across. 50%, nobody received a 50%, so again, our little dot's on a 0. 60%, 2 individuals received a 60%, which a little dot goes on the 2 then. And notice the 70%, and how it correlates to 70%. 6 individuals received a 70%, so I put my little dot up there. And then again, 80%, 1. So 1, and it's 1 across here. And then 90%, 2 individuals received a 90%. And then 1 individual received 100%. So that's basically how this is, like a condensed, there it is, version. Again, yours will look better than mine because you'll be using rulers and or software to present this to your professor or teacher. But since I'm on a dry erase board and I didn't use like a yardstick, my lines aren't perfectly even as yours will be using graph paper or such. So this is just, and next we're going to go into shapes of frequency distributions, which we're going to cover 4 shapes.